Well played indeed. Overall, really well played. Especially considering the last VOD or clip of him we looked at a couple weeks ago. Like the difference is astronomical. I wish I could improve as fast as he is. Yeah, I think the one or the two things I would attribute it to. The first is consistency. So practicing a little bit every day, regardless of what you're practicing, is a lot better than practicing 16 hours a weekend and then not playing for 5 days, right? So if you can get maybe an hour in a day, that's very useful compared to playing a lot in the weekends. And then the second thing is, because he's spending a lot of time trying to explain people the things that he is practicing and how they can practice it, he spends a lot of time actually thinking about it in between his games or outside of the game. And if you spend a lot of time thinking about it, it'll keep making the process of making those decisions faster and faster, which is very useful. Alright, so we have another VOD here. Dodo Musk Prime. Is he just playing a lot? Well, he's playing consistently and he's focusing on improving, and putting those two together will make you improve very quickly, which I very much recommend. Okay, hold on, that was it. So let's see, it's squads, it's casuals, not ranked. Okay, drop in runoff, running Hemlock and Havoc, so you've got 2 ARs, which is not ideal. They work at similar ranges. But if you're out in the open, you want to use the Havoc, and if you're fighting indoors or around corners, you want to use the Hemlock, because the burst Hemlock is a bit faster at peak battles, and the Havoc is very weak at peak battles, but very strong out in the open. Alright, so your teammate goes down inside, and the very good thing about this approach is that your other teammate's going into the back door, and you're going into the front door. Once again, my arrows are double jump. It's fine. There we go, much better. So you guys are now once again sandwiching the enemy team. Sandwiching is very powerful, so this is very good. Instead of sprinting in, because this teammate is downed already anyway, so you know, they're not a priority right now. Winning this fight is a priority. What I would have done is I would have stopped sprinting when I got close to the door, make sure that nobody's holding this door. Alright, so you jump down here, and you end up sprinting straight in. Right here I would stop sprinting while your teammate's going around. Then look through the door to see if I can see an enemy. Right here, see if you can see an enemy. And then as soon as your teammate goes up to this back door, if the enemy's looking through there, you can shoot him in the back. Or if he's not looking through there, wait for your teammate to push in and then push in together with him. That's how you get the perfect focus fight. So this guy, if you just wait half a second right here for your Octane to get to the door first, he's going to be distracted looking through the door to the Octane. He's going to know that he has to hold the door, otherwise the Octane comes through. So if you then shoot him, he has to choose. Do I shoot in the back while I keep holding this door, or do I let the door open and try to grapple out to the top? It's very, very, very difficult for him, and he will definitely die. So that half a second makes a good difference on the approach here. Luckily only at common armor and you have a Havoc, so he goes down anyway, but timing is key. So they have another squad coming in. You actually accidentally close the door here, right as I was about to say. If you know they're coming in, then either don't stack up while you're all looting, or at least close the doors so that they can't just, you know, come in and shoot you. Here comes the third party. So right here, I don't like that you dropped down. And we talked about this a lot in the other VODs today. If you control the information, then you control the engage. In this situation, your teammates have some information, the enemies have information on your teammates, and you're not in the fight yet. You don't have information about these enemies, and they don't have information on you. So once you push up here, this is fine, you're with your teammates. And right now, you know approximately where they are, but you can't see them. And so you want to have a good position where you can see them first, and you're not likely to get shot in the back. So what I would do here is either just hold this balcony and make sure that you've got the right side of this building covered, so that your teammates can't get pushed there, or grapple onto the high ground so that you are in a very safe position where it's very easy to scout. But don't drop down if you don't know where these enemies are, because you're gonna get shot in the back. You don't control the engage because you don't control the information. Yo, Steve-O, thank you for the follow, my dude. Hope that means I've made a good impression. Alright, let's see. So once again, there's a lot of running around on low ground here when you're not sure, like, are there people around you? How many people are there around you? Where are they? It's a lot of you know, gambling. Or are you going to see them first, or are they going to see you first? And if you sprint, it's a lot of giving away your position via sound. So it's a very risky thing to do. You should always default to some kind of high ground as Pathfinder. Make sure you get a good approach. Right. Sadly, it's really hard to hear people when you're in zone. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a raid. No, I know about the graphic bug Nurso, but I'm pretty sure it was a raid. Because there is a team here. Alright. So right here, You are very close to this guy and you know that he is about to go up this redeploy. So I get that you're kind of panicking and feeling like you have to shoot him immediately. But remember, control the information, control the engage. You know where this guy is, so you can totally wait for him to get up, make sure you pre-aim the head and then get some better shots on him. Especially since you don't know where his teammates are, so shooting him when you're out in the open here and zone is tickling you in the butt and your teammates are already far up ahead, it puts you in a lot of risk to be 3v1s here. So it does end up happening here, we already saw it a little bit. You end up shooting this guy and because you're shooting him out in the open, you're not sure where anybody else is, you just decide to instantly shoot him. You give up your information advantage and you get initiated upon by these lifelines. So it makes sense that you go down here. Good aim against her, so you are beating her in the aim section. But he doesn't actually go down, he gets the kill. That's a big mistake on the lifelines part. He had no med, I mean, if he has no meds, then he definitely shouldn't initiate in zone. That's another thing, like, if you're in zone, you have no heals, and you see enemies, just stay behind them. Stay behind them, wait for them to get out of zone when they're healing, and then punish them. But don't start fighting in zone if you can't heal from it. How does she even lose that? I think she tried to reload both her weapons, like halfway through her reload she shot back. She did something which caused her reload to be very long, I think she cancelled it somehow. And then she ended up not being able to shoot back when he rounded up the Havoc. Because when he swapped to the Havoc, he should have lost because of the charge up on it, because he doesn't have a turbocharger. Right, that's why he should have lost that. Alright, so there's a team up above them near the respawn beacon. There's only 30 seconds for zone to start moving and we can't see right now, because we skipped through it, how far the zone is going to go. But that looks like it's going to go very far. We're already kind of struggling on heals. You do have 2 medkits now, so maybe they have more heals, but definitely want to keep an eye on the zone here, my man. This is not the point of the game where you want to tank it longer than you have to with only 4 squads left. That's a bit risky. Starting with nades is decent. You didn't have a sideline on this guy, I don't think, so I think it was... I don't know, yeah, you saw them to go to the left cover and then chuck the nade on that. Too late, he could have already moved. Luckily he didn't, so you still got a shot. The problem with throwing nades when you don't have visual and they're not behind small pieces of cover is that you cannot tell right now if he peeks out. This glare is way too much on this left side right now. If he's standing right here, you wouldn't know to try and shoot you while he's avoiding the nade. Or if he's going around the back, you wouldn't know unless you push up on the right here, because you don't have a sight line. That's the problem with throwing blind nades. It's hard to get value out of them, which once again is fine if you're carrying 6 of them, but not if it's your only one. If it's your only one, you want to make sure you save it for a value play. Now, and that's very risky of him, that should be a free kill, but you are putting... Here, hold on. This is something I do want to show. So this guy grapples in like a maniac, right? You instantly look up, and by your reaction and your team's reaction, we can tell that all of you realize that this guy just committed absolute Sudoku, right? And he's killing himself because he's yeeting himself out into the open into incendiaries into your team. So all you have to do, because he decides to shoot you first and not your teammates, is either duck behind this cover and let them kill him, or duck behind this cover, then peek out when he's not shooting you and then kill him, right? So either let your teammates deal with it or use the cover to just basically fight as you were before. You don't have to do anything because he did it for you, right? He suicided for you. But instead what you decide to do is counter YOLO. Why are you grappling out and you just saw him commit suicide and your idea is, you know what, that looked like fun, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. You don't get quite as far as him because you end up messing up your own grapple, but that's more luck than anything. Why are you out in the open here? Why are you crouched in the middle? Why you're not using the cover that you had? You were in a good spot. Why'd you give it up? Right. Other than that, decent aim. Luckily, they suicided harder than you suicide, so you end up winning that trade there. But that was, yeah, we're gonna call it a brain fart. I'm gonna guess that was a mistake somehow or something, or maybe a panic choice, but that was not good. And now you have to go very far because of zone. So definitely should have kept an eye on that. Oh, wow. Shit. Okay. That's not what I was expecting, but okay. The other team dies to zone and you end up winning. GG's.